Everybody's talking about Marathon. Some people are hating it, some people are loving it, some people don't really care and are trying to stay out of it, but it's everywhere, so you kind of get pulled into it. And that's me. I don't really care either way, but I like video games, so I'm gonna check it out and see if I like it. I didn't like Destiny or Destiny 2, so I don't know. It was alright. I don't like microtransactions and storefronts and loot boxes and all that. But I still played it. A lot. Probably way too much. Both of them. So I'll probably end up playing this if it's free. And if it's not free, it better be good enough for me to pay full price. And I don't think they're gonna get me. But we'll see. I've been staying away from what everybody else has been saying about it, so I'm going in fresh. Wait, what did that say? Game in development. Content subject to change. Internet connection and online multiplayer subscription may be required. The following contains flashing light patterns which may impact photosensitive individuals. Okay. So the game's still in development, so this isn't final footage. Looks cool so far. Yeah. I'm into this. Kinda feels like Cyberpunk mixed with Death Stranding. With F1. Formula Racing. What's up with the weird jackets? Why were they so puffy? This looks really cool. I like this cinematic trailer a lot. Definitely giving me Death Stranding vibes. Alright then. This is crazy. I'm interested. So far it's 10 out of 10. Definitely giving me Cyberpunk vibes.
I met a traveler from an antique land who said, too vast and trunkless.
I like the Death Stranding vibes.
Stand in the desert.
Especially being on the beach.
On the sands, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command.
Okay. There's something like too clean and textured about this. And it's a little off-putting. Because everything around is dirty, but this character's like weird and blocky. And not dirty at all. Way too clean. And like, the body looks like really polygonal. Kinda like, they didn't try very hard.
Till that it sought to well those passions red which yet survive. Stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, lifeless things.
The character colors and lighting, it clashes. It clashes with the background. I'm not sure. There's something weird about it.
And the heart that fed.
Yeah, the colors of those characters, they're like too clean, too blocky, and they clash with the background. Why is the character lit up so much? Like, the entire character's lit up. There's no shadow. Once again, very blocky. I think No Man's Sky's characters look better, and they kind of give off that same vibe. And where's the dirt? Everything else is so dirty. Even rummaging around, they didn't get dirty. Like there's no edge. They're too clean.
Welcome once again.
I like this character. This character looks really cool. This whole vibe that the background's giving off with this character in it, this makes sense. I could see a lot of people not liking this part though. Kind of gives off some anime dubstep vibes off of YouTube Music or Spotify. They have a lot of artwork that looks very similar.
Once again. How's the new
Can we
shell?
please?
How's the new shell feeling?
I mean, it feels just like what it is, right? Like $1 trillion.
Okay, the voice actor didn't match the way the character looked, in my opinion. I thought she'd have like a higher pitched, more Asian sounding voice. That sounded like a white woman.
It's like $1 trillion.
Sakaguchi Genetics sent a reminder. Your shell repayment is coming up and will be charged against your line of credit.
Yeah, I know. Do you mind if we skip the formalities this time? Got a big contract waiting down there, so.
Understood. Let's proceed with your grounding exercise.
This is cool though,
Are
still.
you familiar with this item?
That's my lucky charm.
I'm gonna have to see the gameplay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be my lucky charm.
That chick's voice sounds like she belongs in Borderlands. See, like, I like what they're going for, it just doesn't look right. The colors just kind of don't make sense. Like, the color of the gun just doesn't fit the vibe of everything else.
Can you identify her?
Yeah, that's my mom. That's your mother. Your mother.
Now,
You know that's
consider
your
this. Do you recognize this child?
Oh, we're gonna bring, like, emotional backstory to it. No thanks.
Who are you? I don't know.
It's you.
What? Really?
Once again, too clean, too blocky. I'm sure they'll fix that. I hope they take this criticism that I'm sure other people have been saying. I hope they darken them a little bit, make them a little dirtier, have some broken spots in some places. Like that pack on the left shoulder, that just doesn't look right. That whole arm kind of looks like they put a 4K texture over a Nintendo 64 character. One thing I am noticing, I don't think this is Unreal Engine. If it is Unreal Engine, they're doing a good job of not looking like Unreal Engine.
Hey, what's that you're always tuned into? Worth anything?
I don't know, but I like it. It speaks to me.
Let me listen.
I really like what they're going for with the characters.
Yeah, go ahead.
You ever wonder what happened to these people?
It's not my business.
Like, the guy's head shape and the way he looks, I like it. I just don't like the graphics of it. The way it's too clean, it needs some grit.
And this music is. You'll have a tough time finding a buyer.
Good. It's not for sale. Give it to me.
Okay. I like that. This would be a really cool free-to-play game. I could see it being a really good free-to-play game. I like this. I like the sets. That was interesting. They kind of don't make sense. Like that place they were just in with the colorful chords. Like, why is everything colored like this? Okay, she looks better. She's got some... I think it's just because of the paint, but she's got some grit. Okay. I'm very interested.
And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remain. Nothing beside remain.
This shot right here, this looks really good. She doesn't look all blocky. He's kind of far away enough that he doesn't look blocky. The lighting is good. The colors are good. There's the right amount of grit and edginess to it, if you will. This one, I'm very interested in this game.
Nothing beside remain. Nothing beside remain.
But I'll have to see the gameplay.
Round the decay of that colossal
Okay,
wreck.
well,
Round the decay of
all the characters are dying.
Boundless, alone and level sands stretch far away.
It's like post-apocalyptic cyberpunk. Like 400 years after cyberpunk. See, this looks good. There's still a little bit of weird blockiness to it, but it's got actual detail and dirt and grit. I guess that's blood, which is interesting that it's blue.
Do you recognize this child?
I don't know. Is that me?
That would make for an interesting series, like an animated series. I don't know about it being a video game. What does this have to do with what kind of game it is? I don't even know what kind of game it is. Like, is this like a hero shooter or an extraction, or is it like Destiny 2? I don't know. I've got a few more videos to watch. I'm gonna watch the gameplay overview trailer, and then I'm gonna watch a couple people talk about it, and I'm gonna gather my thoughts on it and give my first impressions of everything that I'm seeing. Gameplay overview, let's go. So the graphics are very, very blocky and weird. Almost Fortnite-like. Which I'm not gonna hate it for. Because if it has good
Marathon
vibes...
is a team-based extraction shooter set around the mysterious and cutthroat world of Tau Ceti 4. You are a runner. A cybernetic mercenary who's given up their human form for a biosynthetic shell with unique abilities and stats, capable of both tactical and fast-paced combat.
Not gonna lie, it's giving me Xbox 360 vibes. But like an upgraded version of what an Xbox 360 game would be. With updated mechanics probably, updated gameplay.
Here you'll fight in a crew of up to 3 players across a variety of zones and points of interest. You'll face rival runners in zones of up to 18 players, countless security
Zones. So it's kind of going to be like The Division?
forces, and otherworldly threats. To scavenge the remains of a lost colony for glory and fortune. The environments of Tau Ceti
It kind of looks like it could be an indie game. This is like somebody's passion project. Everything just is so blocky. And the shadows kind of don't make sense because they're blocky too. But at least in the gameplay, nothing really clashes. The colors need to be darkened and like dimmed, and there's no dirt anywhere once again. There's no edginess. It's too clean. Too much of one color everywhere. I think I could point out like 4 colors in this whole backdrop.
4 are filled with weapons, materials, and equipment you can scavenge throughout the map. Before deploying, you'll strategically
I like the way he looks.
throughout the map.
The way he looks in this, it makes sense with everything being more blocky. And they did put a little bit of grit on him. Like with the shadows and like, he doesn't have that clean look. Still looks very clean. There's no like dirt or anything. But he doesn't look so solid.
Before deploying, you'll strategically build your loadout and select a runner to ensure you're equipped for the run ahead. Your objective is simple. Get in, gather as much loot as you can, and make it out alive.
It kind of looks like a mobile game, not gonna lie. There's some mobile games that have the same kind of character designs and everything. Feels like that's what they pulled it from. It feels like they tried to make cool characters that everybody likes and thinks that are cool by doing research on what cool is. And they actually just didn't know what making cool characters is.
Die, and all your gear will be up for grabs. Survive, and your loot can be taken into future runs as you grow in power and fill your vault. Death is inevitable, but it's never the end. Think quickly on your feet and outplay your opponents, and in your next run,
I think it's too colorful and flat. It's too colorful and flat. And the colors a lot of places don't make sense and they're too bright. I know I'm bitching a lot, but like, that's what I'm getting from this. I don't want to hate it because the trailer that I watched before this was really badass. Probably an 8 out of 10 trailer. If it was like the first reveal cinematic trailer with that little tag in the beginning where it says this is not final. I wonder when this comes out, and I wonder how not final this is.
you and your teammates will be the ones coming out on top. And even if you're down on your luck, factions can sponsor you with a fresh loadout, so you can get right back into the fight.
Apex Legends looks better than this, and Apex Legends is free. I don't think this is free. I hope it's free.
Bungie brings its best-in-class first-person multiplayer action to the forefront. Dynamic and tactile gunplay, runners with unique playstyles, and customizable builds create highly dynamic and strategic teamfights. Whether you're on a zero-to-hero run or high-rolling with powerful gear, you'll need to use your best judgment when you decide which fights to pick and how. Because no matter how geared you are, players with skill and strategy will always have the edge. Marathon is designed to be played in crews.
That's cool.
With contextual pings, shared objectives, and down but not out to streamline playing with your friends. Death is not the end. And if you're the last one standing, you can overcome the odds to revive your teammates and get out with your hard-earned loot. And if you believe your skills alone are enough to conquer any challenge, we give you the freedom to opt out of Fruitvale to take all the glory for yourself as a solo runner.
So what's the loot for? What do you do with the loot?
No two runs in Marathon ever play out the same. With dynamic events, variable weather, and unpredictable players, you'll have to adapt on the fly if you want to survive. Each run has a time limit, and anything can happen while you're chasing your objective.
You know what would make this game look a lot better? They could literally, all they have to do is just cell shade it. If they cell shaded this game, I think everybody would be talking about how amazing it looks.
Looking to unlock upgrades or increase your faction reputation? Slip into the shadows as Foy and ghost past your enemies. Search the map for rare materials and
Yeah, now that I'm talking about it, it's giving me some Borderlands vibes. But like, look at her feet. It's so flat and there's like no shadows. She doesn't look like she belongs there. She looks like she was superimposed there. Where are the shadows?
profit opportunities without being discovered. Want to push enemy teams and steal their loot? Bring in Glitch with agility implant and your strongest weapons to disrupt rival crews.
See, there's a shadow. You get shadows when you're outside, I guess. But now it looks too deep. I don't know. There's just so many weird things about it. Because that shadow is darker than the shadows of everything else.
Running support for your friends. Grab extra equipment, shield charges, and a specialized backpack to be the lifeline they need. You're always free to experiment with team compositions, and the only limit to how you want to play your runner is your loot and imagination. Endgame challenges, ranked play, discovering secrets, seasonal storytelling, community events, and more all await you in Season 1, where you and your friends will...
That sounds like a whole lot of storefront. Sounds like they're going to be expecting everybody to be buying everything.
Start to unravel the mysteries of Tau Ceti 4. Remember, you're only ever one run away from your next big score.
That's pretty cool. I'm divided on it. Coming September 23rd, 2025. So it's pretty final. There's not much left that they could do with this. Like it's pretty final. They may be able to touch up the graphics a little bit by the time this comes out. Destiny 2 was quite a disaster when it came out, but they fixed most of it. The storefront was still there and it was still egregious. But, you know, they made it free to play. It wasn't whenever it came out. Well, it's kind of free to play. I could see them doing the same thing with this one. I still don't know if this is free or if it's going to cost money. Hopefully it's not full price if it does cost money. Because this does not look or sound like a game that would be full price. It kind of looks like it should be an isometric view game. And it kind of looks like that's what they were going for, and then they realized, hey, isometric games aren't really that popular. We better make it a first-person shooter. Maybe it wasn't going so well. I don't know. But I'm going to check out Jack Fragg's video, his impressions on it, and see if he's got to say anything similar, or if he had some different qualms, or if he absolutely loves it.
Marathon gameplay has finally been revealed to the world, along with a ton of information about this new first-person shooter from Bungie. That studio carries a lot of anticipation, expectation, and weight.
Once again,
Person shooter from Bungie. That studio carries a lot of anticipation.
where's the shadow? It's like she doesn't actually exist there. It's like she's a ghost.
Expectation, and weight. Bungie, of course, are most famous for developing the iconic Halo
See, they got
franchise
shadows.
before handing it off to 343 Industries in 2012 following their completion of Halo Reach. Bungie then went on to make Destiny and Destiny 2. The original Marathon game, though, released in 1994.
Well, you say that that Bungie made these games, but not the same Bungie that exists today.
A game made by Bungie but for the Apple Macintosh, and that game took place centuries into the future in outer space, with the player attempting to stop an alien invasion aboard a colony ship named the Marathon.
Yeah, so the new Marathon is not this old Marathon. They just took the name. They prayed their own game. They did what Bethesda did, where they took the license of a game that they own and they were like, you know what, let's just make it not that. Just make it something else and use the same name. And say it's like, hey, remember that old game that we had? Well, here's the new one.
Actually had some decent plot and story for the time too, interestingly featuring game multiplayer deathmatch mode as well. Skip to 2025 and here we are with a new Marathon game. They are bringing it back from the dead, this time as a team-based extraction shooter set in a world called Tau Ceti 4. In the game you
Well, of course they had to make it an extraction shooter, because if it was just a single player game that also had a deathmatch mode, then they couldn't really put a storefront in it that makes millions of dollars.
play as runners, cybernetic mercenaries who've given up their human form for a biosynthetic shell with unique abilities and stats, with tactical and fast-paced combat. You'll queue into a match with a crew of up to 3 players across a variety of zones and points of interest. In total, there will be 18 players in the lobby and a bunch of AI to fight too, PvPvE. The AI will be countless security forces and otherworldly threats. I imagine that we might end up seeing some pretty big monsters and boss fights scattered in here, knowing Bungie. When you're in a match, your goal is to scavenge the remains of a lost colony for glory and fortune. The levels are filled with various weapons, materials and equipment to be looted. Before deployment though, you'll build a loadout and select a runner to ensure that you're equipped for the run ahead. And yeah, you guessed it, the objective is to get in, gather loot and make it out alive. Die and all your gear is up for grabs.
It does sound very cool. It does sound interesting. It's just the gameplay and the graphics is what's getting me. Some of the gameplay looks phenomenal, but some of it just seems really off, and I'm not really sure how you're gonna handle a lot of these situations. It's just showing me a lot of guns being shot and specials being used, and not really what the objectives are about, and like how that ties to the story.
Other players can nick it and you'll lose it. I presume there will be some kind of Tarkov style safe box / gamma container with limited space that you can take in though if you find something you really want to hold on to. And then if you survive and extract the loot via an exfil mechanic, that loot can then be taken into future runs with you as you grow in power and fill your vault. So there is a big element of metagame here too. If you completely run out of loot and feel like there's no coming back though, you can get a faction to sponsor you with a fresh loadout so you can get back into the fight. Bungie say that they're bringing their A game here with the moment-to-moment gameplay, claiming the gunplay is dynamic and tactile. The emphasis is said to be on strategic plays. Looking at the footage they've released, the time to kill appears to be very fast, especially
Did you see that? Hold up. Hold on.
so you can get back into the fight.
Let me
Bungie
get
say
back
that
to
they're
it.
bringing their A game here with the moment-to-moment gameplay, claiming the gunplay is dynamic and tactile. The emphasis is said to be on strategic plays. Looking at the footage
Did you see the skull? I guarantee you, they're gonna charge us for that. You want a cool reticle? You're gonna have to buy it.
they've released, the time to kill appears to be very fast, especially when no armor is equipped. Players will have the ability to employ unique playstyles and customizable builds, creating dynamic and strategic team fights. They made a point in the trailer too to say that no matter how geared you are, skill and strategy will always have the edge. I presume that's because a lot of the guns, perhaps even the basic pistols, can do big damage with headshots.
I hope that the team play feels really good and it is dynamic. I don't want it to be another Call of Duty where everybody's just after kills and really just playing solo, but they're teammates. I hope it really does encourage team play and you have to work together to succeed. Not very many games actually succeed at doing that.
For example. And Marathon is designed to be played in crews with shared objectives, contextual pings, and down but not out states to streamline the idea of playing with friends. If you're the last one standing on your crew, you can revive teammates. In the trailer, it kind of reminded me of the DMZ revive state where if a player is in a down state, then you can revive them pretty quick, they'll be up on their feet. But if they've been finished off, you can still revive them, but it takes much longer. And I would assume that there'll be a limit to how many times that they can be fully revived from the dead, but I'm not entirely sure on that one. If you don't have anyone else to roll with, you can matchmake and fill your party, or you can play solo if you want.
This scene right here looks like what the game should have been like, instead of a first-person shooter. But they gotta maximize them profits.
To test your skills. We did see a clip of 2 players running side by side, so I guess that duos will be an option. It's very popular.
The running really reminds me of Borderlands. This is giving me really heavy Borderlands 3 vibes.
If you've got just one other person that you play with regularly. No 2 runs will ever play out the same. The game features dynamic events. I guess these could be related to bosses spawning in or rare loot appearing on the map. I would love to see some Destiny style bosses pop up during a round, especially.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because they made Destiny 2, that's why it's giving me Borderlands vibes, because Destiny 2 gives me Borderlands vibes also. I wasn't thinking about that whole aspect of it.
In an extraction game where your life is the most important thing, could be quite heart-pounding. We've got variable weather here too. We see fog, wind and rain, perhaps snow at some point. Each run that you join has a time limit where anything can happen. It didn't say what the time limit was, but I'd guess around 20 to 30 minutes or so. It looks like there will be many quests in the game, as they did talk about unlocking upgrades to increase faction rep, think Tarkov style vendors and traders.
I like this whole scene right here. There's a lot of this going on. There's a lot of stuff that I really like about this. There's a lot of stuff that I really don't like about this. There's not a whole lot of middle ground, middle of the road feelings on this. It's either like, I really like it, or I really don't like it.
They also detailed some of the runners that you can play as. One of them is called Void, who has sneaky stealth abilities. If you wanted to go solo, for example, it might be a good choice, as you could quietly join a game. Maybe you just go in with a knife or a pistol. You then search for rare materials and profit opportunities without being discovered. And it looked like Void had a temporary cloak ability. If you wanted to attack and go on the offensive, you could play as Glitch, pushing enemy teams and stealing loot. They demoed an example playing as Glitch with strong weapons and an agility implant. Your implants perhaps impact your abilities in that case. If you're running support for your friends, I think one of them is called Locus, and you can grab extra equipment with this guy, shield charges and a specialized backpack to be a lifeline that your squad mates might need. You're also free to experiment.
I don't think anybody's gonna play that one.
With team composition, it looks like multiple people in your squad can be the same runner, so I imagine that there will be some meta squads forming pretty quickly. In terms of live service content, Bungie revealed endgame challenges, ranked play, secrets, mysteries, seasonal storytelling, community events, and more in Season 1. The game will be running a closed alpha test.
I need to know more about the story and how the gameplay ties into the story. There's a whole lot I'm not getting out of this, and I don't like that. I need to know something, because I'm very interested, but it's also not selling me.
Starting soon. I think it's going to be under NDA though, but you can sign up for it. It is set to release on Steam on PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S with full crossplay and cross-save on September 23rd of this year. That's sooner than I expected. I did also check this just to be sure, because I know a lot of you guys will ask this. As you may know, Bungie is now a Sony PlayStation owned studio, and they told us that PC and Xbox players won't need to sign up for a PSN account to play. That's a good sign for a lot of PC players for sure. I'd bet they don't want a repeat of the Helldivers debacle, if you remember that. That did not.
I think they're expecting this to get low sales numbers, so they're just trying to get as many people okay with this as possible, because they know that even less people are going to get it if they have to get a PlayStation account.
Go down well at all. The only other bit of official information I could find was that there will be multiple maps. In the press release, they said that if players are brave enough, they can take a journey up to the derelict Marathon ship that hangs above.
So if they do charge for this game, let's say they charge $40. I could see them doing that if the content that they're releasing is a rollout for free, and then you buy into the game with $40. I could see that. But judging by how they did Destiny 2, that's not how it's going to happen. They're going to do like these big expansion events.
So it looks like Marathon will actually be a fully playable area in the game. Pretty cool. I imagine that's going to be quite spooky. And the way that they've said that could be a high level gear area. Think something like going to labs in Escape from Tarkov. One thing that I didn't see is it going to be free to play or not? I feel like if it was going to be free to play, they would have said it. That's a big deal. So I'm guessing it will be a premium product, maybe 40, 50 bucks, that kind of range. And then they'll have live service, battle pass, microtransactions. Lots of assumptions there, but I feel like that's the logical conclusion here.
Yeah, because they all have to. Every AAA game has to at this point. And it's garbage. That kind of stuff is what's going to make me not play this game. If it doesn't have any of that stuff, which I highly doubt, I'm 100% buying in. I'll buy it full price if it's an online shooter game that doesn't have a storefront like that. I can forgive it if it's like a Borderlands 2 storefront.
So that's the official information about the game and what we can take out from the gameplay trailer. Now, I did see a couple weeks ago, there were some press and content creators, media, that played a version of Marathon, and I think they were allowed to capture. So if you want some actual first impressions hands-on with unique gameplay, there's going to be plenty of that out there from other content creators. So there are options there for you if you want to learn more about the game, and from somebody who's played a recent build of it. I'm sure that will be all over YouTube by now. I digress. So we were having a conversation on stream about this a couple days ago. The idea that we think no developer has managed to make the quote-unquote perfect extraction game yet. Tarkov clearly has had the lead up until now. It has the gun modification, the meta game, the blood pumping firefights, the hook authenticity, but the hype has definitely died off in the last 2 years or so. It's also got awful performance, bad anti-cheat, no onboarding, lots of balance issues.
Yeah, this also doesn't have any good shadows. What is with these extraction shooters not having good shadows? And this also looks blocky.
And it's not on console. For me, Hunt Showdown is the extraction game that I play the most.
This one looks good. I've never seen gameplay or even played this one. I've heard of it.
Because it gives me that nice balance of fighting players, fighting interesting AI characters and bosses, great audio, and it's in a unique setting. But it also suffers with some issues like bad user interface, lack of regular updates. It doesn't have a robust metagame, base building element like Tarkov does. It's not perfect. And then there's others like Delta Force, Arena Breakout, even COD had a crack at it with DMZ.
DMZ is the only one that I've played out of all of those. I have never played an extraction shooter except DMZ.
They've all been a bit of flash in the pan. So Bungie do have a huge opportunity here, especially with the console market, to throw some of that Sony AAA money at the development of an extraction first-person shooter and attempt to bring it all together into a satisfying package. I've no doubt that the final product will have incredible gunplay, movement, world design, and performance.
What's gonna break it, what's gonna make or break, is gonna be how the gameplay ties into the story, how they roll out the expansions, and how egregious the storefront's gonna be.
However, I do think that having these unique runners with abilities might hurt the game in certain respects. There's a big extraction first-person shooter audience out there who will see that and immediately go, oh no, it's a hero shooter then. Sad trombone noise. Even if it's
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was a hero shooter, and it still kind of looks like a hero shooter, and it might be still like a hero extraction shooter.
Primarily an extraction game where you can swap some of these abilities out, build your runner differently. It appears like this game still has unique characters with skills, roles, and looks. I guess they'll add new runners over the live service, and the hero shooter genre has such a stigma now. It just feels so done, and there have been a lot of flops in that genre. I feel like there's a big part of the extraction game audience who won't like that in terms of the gameplay, but I also think the reason that Tarkov has success in that department is because players can just build their soldier, their grunt if you will, kit it out how they like and go in. The gunplay, your tactics and grenades, drive the combat. It's more predictable. You don't have to think about people having abilities, and it feels more grounded and relatable that way. I think that type of combat loop is what the majority of extraction players like. They don't like the idea of fighting clones of themselves or clones of their teams, all using the same or similar abilities. Also, the art style in this
I liked that. I liked that a whole bunch. The way he did that with his fingers, that was cool.
This game is definitely going to be quite divisive. It's certainly a bold choice, but I do feel like a lot of gamers have preconceived notions about games that look like this, and they will be immediately turned off by them. And some of the character designs that we've seen in the trailers and gameplay do seem typical for the average hero shooter. On the flip side to this, it really depends what audience Bungie is going for here, because there is a massive player base out there who quite like games with heroes in. You can do games with heroes well if you want to. Look at Marvel Rivals, new release, Heroes, 6v6. That's pretty much as hero shooter as you can get. Big audience. It's fun. I've played it for a bit. Would it be as successful as it has been without the Marvel IP? Absolutely not. But I think the gameplay's good. For me, I'll dip in and out every now and again, but it's not something that I'm playing regularly. Because I've played so many games like that before, the gameplay just gets old fast.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with the gameplay has to tie in really well with the story, because all these new characters, nobody recognizes them. You're just throwing them out into the world, and already a lot of people aren't liking them. I like the way they look. I just don't like the way they look sometimes with the graphics and the lighting and the shadows and all that. But I do like what they're going for with the designs.
Apex Legends, Respawn took Battle Royale and added heroes to it. Actually really fun in the first couple of years. I enjoyed it a lot, and People get attached to those characters and their stories. I am kind of done with Apex now though. I think it's got bloated and crazy, too many characters and abilities for me to keep track of. It's too unpredictable and I've not played it in ages. I'm waiting to see what they do next. Apex 2, if you will, change things up a bit. I'm waffling now, but hopefully you see what I'm getting at. There's an opportunity, I think, to mix the genres and make something that feels new with Marathon. But overall, I don't feel like heroes with abilities are well suited to extraction type games. Will there be enough conviction in the game design to make it interesting enough? We'll see. I don't want to judge it until I've played a new version of it. And of course, as soon as I can record, stream, make videos, etc., I'll be there.
Oh, I'm gonna judge it very harshly without playing it. I'm gonna watch a whole bunch of videos about this game, and it's gonna be from people that I like and people I trust about games being good or not. Probably Asmongold. And if it's good enough, I'll get it. But that storefront is probably gonna be what makes or breaks for me on whether or not I get this game, and the price. Because really, really egregious storefront plus bad pricing equals no-go for me. Or scenario 2, none of that matters, and it's broken on launch, and there's just patches left and right all the time, and it's just gonna completely take me out of it. That's what happened with Destiny 2. Also, it shouldn't have been a full price game at launch.
As I mentioned though, there will be videos out there now with gameplay from this capture event, and people who've played it recently, recorded, they can give you a much better understanding of what the game's like and how it feels. Is it good, bad, everything in between. So go out there, look on YouTube if you're interested. Plenty of other content out there. With that said, guys, thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new here. Drop me a like if you enjoyed the video, a dislike if you didn't, and I'll see you next time.
So I'm not gonna judge it until it comes out, because everything can change. They might cell shade it, like I said. They might take my advice. They might hear this video and change all that. That'd be cool if they cell shaded it. It wouldn't be hard to do. Just have to put like a cell shade filter on everything. But we'll see. We'll see when it comes out. I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be 8 out of 10, but the storefront's gonna bring it down to a 7. People are saying that this is the next Concord. I don't think so. I think there's too many Bungie fans to let this game die immediately. It might be a Destiny 2 situation where it doesn't need to be full price when it comes out and they make it free to play, and then do the rolling expansions where you have to buy in to get all the new stuff. I could see all of that happening. They just take everything they learned from Destiny 2 and put it into this game. Battle Pass, microtransactions, skins, loot boxes. I don't know about loot boxes. Probably. We'll see. Hopefully there'll be like an open beta or something that I can enter. That'd be cool. Probably not. Alright, I'm out. Buy a t-shirt. Down there in the description.